Thank you, Mr. Boon Chung Kiat, for accepting my interview from my companion.
It's my honor.
Yeah. I mean, today we just realized that you're coming to Singapore, back to Singapore, your hometown.
Yes.
You've been working in Thailand for some time with
Yeah.
Chewathai,
Yeah.
which is a Thai developer.
Yeah,
right.
yes.
Okay, just maybe can you tell us a little bit about Chewathai?
Well, Chewathai is a listed company in Thailand. It's a joint venture between a Thai family and a Singapore developer called
Okay.
Land. And we have been in the market for about the last 8.5 years, and we've developed about 10 or 11 condominiums, and we are going to houses as well.
Okay, that's good. So, is there any difference in Thailand between non-listed and listed property developers? Will your hands be tied if you're, in this case, listed?
Listed means we have access to public funds during IPO, of course, and then after that we have more access to a lot of financial instruments in the market to raise more funds. We were just recently listed only April this year in the secondary market in Thailand.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So, so this Chewathai Public Limited Company, can you tell us a bit more about the shareholders in the company?
Yeah, sure. Initially, pre-IPO, that means pre-April, the shareholders were 51% by a Thai family. They are very prominent but low profile business-oriented Thai family, and their surname is Pani Chewa, and they joint venture with us. We hold 49% Land. Of course, being in Thailand is doing business, you need a lot of connections. So this particular Thai family, they have business interests in a lot of industries, in industrial estate, in insurance, in manufacturing, chemicals, they even own a Hertz car rental franchise license, and they have several insurance companies under different brands. So we are very, very lucky to have them as our partner.
I see.
And of course, the Singapore side, the 49% partner is Land. Land has been in the Singapore market as a boutique developer for the past maybe 12 years. We were recently listed in the main stock market, in the main board in Singapore about 3.5 years ago. So I think a lot of Singaporeans are very familiar with Land.
Okay.
So with Land being a developer itself, and in Singapore somehow where the condo market is very mature, meaning the products are very complex and sophisticated. So we have a Thai partner with a lot of contacts and networks, and very rich. And we also have a Singapore developer with the expertise in developing sophisticated products with a Singapore touch. So it's a wonderful combination.
Yes. So we understand that you just mentioned that the other family is a Pani Chewa.
Yeah,
so is
Pani
that the
Chewa.
reason why there's a Chewa?
Well,
Thai?
actually, right from the start, the T Group has been in Thailand for the past 16 years. I've been looking after their business. But when we started this joint venture about 8.5 years ago, we specifically requested our Thai partner to look for a name.
Yeah.
And we told them we wanted something very Thai.
Yeah.
So within one day, they came back and said, "Oh, Chewathai." And actually, the word Chewathai means Chewa means lively. Thai in this case is the sound may sound like Thailand, but it's not Thailand. It means heart. That means the lively heart.
Okay.
But it also comes from their part of their surname, which is Pani Chewa.
Okay. So, how do you compare, Chewathai against the other property developers in Thailand, of which there are a lot?
Yeah. There are really a lot of developers. You have the big boys and until the very small ones. We are medium sized. We are a boutique developer. To compare with them, they, of course, being big, their cost of funds are really much lower, and they have been in the market for a long time. So what our strategy is that we will use our Singapore expertise and develop something that is very competitive, and we have to just give the best quality to in our products to our customers to show that you know, if you buy a branded ones from the big boys, it's more worth buying from us because we may be in a better location, we may be giving more quality products and more generous in a lot of things that we give than the big boys. Of course, being medium sized, we are also disadvantaged by the fact that they have an established brand. But we are also in the market for 8 years. So I think if you go to Thailand now, people will start to know about Chewathai. It's just that outside Thailand, maybe people are still not very familiar with Chewathai.
Okay, I understand. Well, we understand that you are the managing director listed on the exchange, and also you do speak a bit of Thai as well, right? Can you say a few words to our audience in Thai?
สวัสดีครับผมชื่อบุญนะครับอยู่ที่เมืองไทยหลายปีแล้ว18 ปีแล้วครับ
Okay.
I just said hello, I'm Boon. I've been living in Thailand for the past 18 years.
Excellent. So I just also another thing is that is there a difference, because I heard a lot of people tell me that we have branded developers, therefore it's more expensive. Is there a difference between the pricing strategy of different developers? In short, are branded developers selling more expensive?
Actually, maybe yes, maybe no, but I'll tend towards no, because each product is very different. Even they are on the same location, even like if they are next to each other. So the more important thing is what product are they giving? Is it luxurious condominium product, or is it just a mid-range condominium product, or is it a low range? So there are examples where one plot of land, they are high rise, they sell at 300,000 baht per meter square, and they are luxury collection. They give fully furnished, everything is like grade A, and just next to them, this is on Sukhumvit Road. They are selling half the price, 150,000 baht per meter square, and they are not furnished, they are low rise, but they are just next to each other. Yeah. So it is not really fair to say that branded developers or big boys, they are selling more expensive. It's really the location and also the final product that are giving in the market.
I think in Singapore, most people will realize that in Singapore we have condominiums that are selling close to each other. The price difference is actually typically between 10-15% difference, whereas in Thailand it seems to be a big difference, right?
I think the Thai market is really so big, and developers, of course, when they do their project study, they may not be focusing on the same product, same target group. So the products that come out, it naturally will have different pricing structure. It depends on which target group they are looking at, and also the final product. That is the most important thing.
Okay, great. We heard, recently I went to Bangkok on, obviously we went to look at your project at Chewathai Interchange and Suravong and a few other places as well. And I've not been to Bangkok for a few years prior to this, so I was quite impressed with the elevated rail, the BTS, underground MRT, which I feel is as good as Singapore's MRT. Obviously, they buy from the same train manufacturer. How has the prices of the property performed in and around the Bangkok MRT, BTS stations?
BTS, MRT, they are very, very big thing in Thailand. Very, very big thing. Prices around there, land prices and condominiums the prices have gone up so much and consistently going up, and demand for products near meaning within 500 meters, demand has been consistently very, very high. We see in the market people who launch next to MRT station or BTS station fully sold out within 1 year, 1 day, 2 days, or very, very high demand. So yes, the rail lines or the mass transit lines have rescaped the real estate market, and we continue to see a lot of demand, and land price continue to go up. I do not see any drop in price in terms of the product, the final product, in the next 10 years. I think it is, as a developer, it is really difficult for us to find land near to mass transit stations. So and people realize that whether you are a tenant, you are real demand buyer, or you are investor, or you are a flipper, people realize that, and they will continue to demand products near mass transit lines.
Okay, so between the Thai people and the Singapore people, all Singaporeans are crazy about going near MRT stations, right? Near supermarkets, MRT station. I mean, between Singapore and Thai, is Singapore, having the benefit of being a Singaporean and staying in Thailand for many, tens of years. So, do you think that Singaporean is more crazy about being near the MRT, or the Thai person is more crazy about being near the MRT or station?
I think really the Thais. The reason for buying a condominium in Thailand is to really escape the very bad traffic. And during weekdays people have to drive 1-2 hours to get to work. And by buying condominiums near mass transit stations, they can then don't drive and go to work using the mass transit. So the Thais are really very, very particular about the location, whether how far away the condo that they buy is from the mass transit. And we see this as an increasing trend because a lot of buyers from who bought from us, they actually have their own houses, but it's very far. So the reason for buying is to cut down on transit time. So they will continue to demand that, and I think they'll be even more crazy than Singaporeans in terms of this. And I also think that Singaporeans who have been shopping for condominiums in Thailand or in Bangkok have also used this as a criteria, because Singaporeans who buy, it's either for holiday home or for investment. Investments meaning that they want rental, and people who rent are people who want to rent near their mass transit station. So you're talking about Singaporeans crazy over condominiums near MRT station or BTS station, and also the Thais are the same.
Yeah, actually, I think this question is not scripted, so I just want to bump this, give you a surprise question. I think most people will say, "Oh, are you sure we can buy freehold property in Bangkok or in Thailand?" So can you tell us a bit about why Thailand properties or strata title can be freehold?
The overriding rationale of foreigners cannot own land is they have a policy of protectionism. So foreigners cannot buy land. Okay, that's full stop. Foreigners cannot buy land. But in terms of condominiums, which is strata title deeds, as you said, they use the concept like a company or a partnership in Thailand, where you can only own up to 49%.
Yes.
So they use the same rationale as that. So they allow a built-up condominium to have foreigners to own about not more than 49% of the total area, not units but area. So in this case, because of this arrangement, it has become legal for foreigners to own strata title deeds freehold up to 49%.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't just to add on, you don't have to worry whether is your purchase unit part of that 49%, because during transfer of the strata title deeds, the land department office, they would have checked, and if your strata title deeds or that particular project has already taken up, or somebody has taken up all the 49% foreign title deeds, right, you will not be able to effect the transfer.
Okay, that's good. There's a lot of talk about high-speed rail, HSR, from Singapore to KL, and some say maybe in Bangkok, Yunnan, and so on. Is the high-speed rail something very distant, very remote, or is it something tangible for the Thai property market?
In terms of the property market, if this materializes, it will have a
What
huge
do you say
boost.
if?
It depends on when it materializes. The current government has been pushing very hard for high-speed rail. Although there are some implementational issues, but they are pushing very, very hard for it. And if it materializes in the near future, it will definitely boost up the property market and the condominium market, especially those around these stations.
Okay, great. So we have also heard about the Asian Economic Community, AEC, right? Of which Singapore is one of the driving forces of AEC. Will the easier movement of people and goods within the community lead to a positive impact or congestion or things like that on Thailand?
The property market, right? Definitely. Actually, AEC, if it's implemented in full-fledged, a lot of it allows free flow of goods, or rather at a lower tariffs, and it also allows professionals to move around in the community. So Thailand is an area where it's a country where we need a lot of foreign expertise and foreign professionals to come and work, whether it's in the medical field or the engineering field or whatever field we have. So if more expertise or professionals come to Thailand, they will either buy a condominium, which is not very expensive to them, or they need to rent, which means that they will boost up the property market in terms of the rental market and also the sales market.
Okay.
So, and we actually have seen pockets of cities in Thailand, not Bangkok yet, but those near to the Laotian border, where we have seen cases where property market has picked up because Laotian have started buying, or even Thais have started investing in condominiums and houses around those border cities, in expectation of AEC.
Understand. Okay. And we see a lot of times some people that do say that Bangkok condominium are a bit expensive, a bit pricey, and of course, having said that, there is also at this point in time that is various property research have said that there is a shortage of office space in Bangkok. Will this lead to any impact on your segments?
There are many news and reports on shortage of office, and it is real because office rental has gone up a lot. We rent office, so we do rent office from landlords, so we know, and it is quite difficult to find prime office space now in Thailand or in Bangkok. So if you equate that with demand of office space to our residential real estate demand, if more international and regional companies move to Bangkok, which leads to the shortage or the high demand of office space, it means more accommodation is needed.
Yeah.
And of course, if more accommodation is needed, then the residential property market definitely go up.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Mr. Boon, can you give us a few tips for the a likely property investor for maybe for Thailand or for Bangkok? Give us a few tips on what we should look out for.
Get somewhere near the mass transit stations. It doesn't have to be the CBD area, because the CBD area is actually more expensive. Try to get something that's fully furnished, first hand. That means it's not a resale. Or even if it's a resale, then it must be unit that has not been used before. It doesn't really have to be on Sukhumvit Road or Silom Road or Satong Road, because the prices of these places are actually have increased a lot. There are many new areas where we call new CBD.